this week's episode, we talk about Nachos and interview Chris Arredondo of GFY.
Once again to Punk Rock Foodies Radio, coming at you live from downtown Mattersville at the Vicious Pig Saloon. This is your one-stop shop for everything punk rock and food. And now, your hosts, Steve Guerrero, Skate Rat Betty, Brian Reinhardt, and the asshole in charge, Xander T.
And that was Marky Ramone's Blitzkrieg with When We Were Angels, and you are listening to Punk Rock Foodies Radio. And I am the asshole in charge of Punk Rock Foodies, Xander T. And with me today at the Vicious Pig Saloon is...
Steve Guerrero.
And Brian Reinhardt.
Skate Rat is still on maternity leave, as she's well-deserved maternity leave.
Mm-hmm.
That little baby girl.
Her and the baby are doing great.
Yeah. Little Penelope.
Little Penelope. We can't wait to have you on the show, Jen. But yeah, it's I know you're loving motherhood, so we'll have you back soon.
It looks like it's going pretty good. Like, the pictures are hilarious. The picture. Yeah. What was it? The picture of Mike with the little swaddle thing, eating Chinese food with Penelope wrapped up with stuff. It's like the raddest picture I've ever seen.
Dude, that's the picture of the year right there. That thing is so killer. It's like it says everything.
Yeah.
And he's got that big beard and that bald head, and he kind of reminds me of like one of those. Like, it looks like one of the characters from Temple of Doom, something, you know.
He's gonna brandish some big old sword.
Yeah.
He was what is it? The Thuggies or whatever. He had like the thing on his head. Yeah, man. He's hanging out with Mola Ram.
But for those who don't know, Punk Rock Foodies is a Facebook group where you make food, you take a picture of the food, and you post the picture of the food to the Facebook.
And if you don't know, how the hell are you listening to this show?
Exactly.
How did you get
by
here?
accident, maybe.
Did you lose a bet?
Oh, a really weird Google search. But yeah, so use a collage app if you want to show the process or more than one image of the meal for whatever reason. And don't just talk about it. Don't just tell us what you're going to make. We want to see it.
Do it first. Yeah. We like to see mistakes as much as triumphs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there was somebody that blew up a casserole dish the other day. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Who hasn't done that?
I know, right?
I did it. I was melting butter on the stove. Like, I always just set it, like, on the burner real low and just let the butter melt. And I completely forgot about it and let it go. The butter melted, burned off, and then all of a sudden, boom, and glass flew everywhere.
Ugh.
So, yeah. So we registered for a new 9x7 casserole dish.
Good call.
But, yeah, so we're into food, we're into punk rock, and we're going to listen to a little punk rock right now before the show starts. So who'd like to send us off here?
Cool. I got a little something, a little dance number here by a little band called Authority Zero, one of my favorites. This is Taking on the World, and you're listening to Punk Rock Foodies Radio. Let's go.
Places that you wanted it to be, with the try, but it shows. Anyone can make what I have built better now. Anyone can find the same white pills. It takes my pain away. It's a lie. Kiss with open eyes, and she's not bringing back anything but bother me. Takes my pain away. Never mind. These are horrid times. Oh, I can't let it bother me. I never thought I'd walk away from you. I did, but it's a false sense of accomplishment. Every time I quit, anyone can see my every flaw. It isn't hard. Anyone can say they're above this all. It takes my pain away. It's a lie. Kiss with open eyes. She's not breathing back or anything but bother me. Takes my pain away. Never mind. These are her times. Oh, I can't let it bother me. I can't let it bother me. It's a lie, a kiss with open eyes, and she's not bringing back anything but bother me. Takes my pain away. Never mind, these are her times. Oh, I can't let it bother me. Takes my pain, takes my pain, takes my pain away.
All right, that was something a little bit different, a little bit lighter. A band called Jimmy Eat World with a song called Pain from, I believe that album came out in 2001. Futures, good album. A little bit different than what we normally play on here, but, you know, we like music, so. We are back on Punk Rock Foodies Radio. I'm Brian Reinhardt. I'm here with Steve and Xander, and I have no fucking idea what we're talking about this week. Are we talking about nachos? I know I did some nachos last weekend. What are we talking about this week?
We are going to talk about nachos.
Nacho.
Oh, shit.
You know?
I
Yeah,
didn't
look
know.
at you. You did have an idea.
I didn't even know what we were going to talk about. Sweet. Glad I made nachos this past weekend.
Yeah. No, nachos, nachos is one of those dishes that's very versatile. You can pretty much do anything.
It's a communal dish. Like, you make it with the intention of everybody kind of getting around it and gathering around and trying it. Digging their hands in. It's a finger food.
It's one of those, like, bar foods, and we're all very well aware of eating at bars.
Mm-hmm. I've been to a couple bars in my life, yeah. Was that one today?
Yeah.
we're in one right now.
Well, now. But, for anybody who doesn't know, if you've never seen the, Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations, I believe it's the U.S.-Mexico border one. And then it's also on, I want to say, like, Bar Food Paradise on the Travel Channel, like the Food Paradises. But the history of the nacho was invented by, this kind of kills me, but I'm glad it got invented. Some wives of some American soldiers went into this restaurant that was closing. They were almost closed. Like, they were putting everything away. And they wanted something to eat. And instead of the Mexican employee saying, "Sorry, we're closed, get the fuck out," they scrambled quickly to make something. And the guy cut up some tortillas and threw them in the fryer to make the chips, threw on some shredded cheddar cheese and had some pickled jalapenos that he laid on and melted the cheese, and that was it. And his name was Nacho. Or like Ignacio or something like that.
Ignacio.
Yeah. So they came back like the next day. They loved it. They came back the next day. They said that we want some of what we had the other night, the nachos. and that was it. And that sparked a revolution.
Wow.
And then they made a movie. They made a movie out of it, starring Jack Black. Not too long about wrestling.
The Nacho book.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was basically that, and apparently this restaurant still claims that that's the only way you can eat nachos is chips with cheese and a jalapeno. That's it.
That's the base. I know that's kind of where you start, but you can go a lot of different ways.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, nachos are pretty damn versatile.
Yeah. I mean, you know, what are some of your favorite toppings on nachos? Just like your standard
the
nachos.
one, if I'm going to do my standard nachos it is just cheese and chips. It's got to be good chips. But what I'll do is I'll put a layer of chips, put some cheese on there, put it in the oven at 300 for about 5 minutes, melt it, and then I'll bring it out, put another layer of chips and another layer of cheese, like a heavier layer. Because if you do it all at once, the cheese inside doesn't really melt, and then the stuff on the outside burns. So I got to do multiple layers. There's nothing worse than digging into some nachos and finding a naked chip. It's just a tragedy.
It is.
So it's all about cheese. It's all about cheese coverage to me.
I agree 100%. I mean, how many times have you guys been at like a bar or restaurant and you've ordered nachos and you're sharing and like you're grabbing chips and all that like little diced tomatoes just falling off of it and there's nothing because they put all that cheese right in the middle of the whole platter and everything on the edge doesn't have shit on it. I mean, I hate that.
If the nachos are 4 inches deep and there's only cheese on the top, then then once you get through that top layer of cheese, you got an issue inside there. You got an issue.
Yeah.
Hey, he's got chips.
Yeah.
If I wanted chips, I'll just order some fucking chips.
And a lot of restaurants can fuck up nachos by serving it with bad chips. You know, those yellow ones that look processed. They're like, like how hard is it to fry up a couple tortillas? You know, like
I am not eating Tostitos. Like, I'm not a big Tostitos guy. I don't like that shit. I did when I was a kid, but there's way better selections now.
Yeah.
Even in the Midwest, we can get some good, authentic Mexican tortillas.
I usually use Tostitos because they got the big triangle chips, you know, so you can get a lot of coverage on there with some cheese. But I do the same thing with I put the chips, I put the cheese. If I'm making a big platter, I usually put tinfoil on a pizza pan and I start off that way. So I, just easy clean up and then it's a lot of nachos. But I'll put the chips and the cheese and I don't pre-bake it and then do it again. I just then will layer some toppings on, then some more cheese, maybe some more chips, just kind of mix it all together. Just because of that. Being disappointed and getting empty, naked chips.
I love making nachos too when I've made a big leftover, like a protein and like pulled pork or something, and or carnitas. Pork is probably my favorite to put on nachos, even though carne asada is pretty good too. But the way the pork shreds, and if you got like a nice succulent juicy pork, it really goes good on nachos.
Nachos are a great way to clean out your fridge and get rid of some leftovers from like the day before. If you're like, God, what am I going to do with this half can of salsa from yesterday? What am I going to do with this extra cheese? This chorizo. I got half a chorizo in there.
Yeah, a quarter of a pepper.
Yeah. Just get some chips and cook that stuff and throw it on top of there, and you're a big fucking hero then.
Yeah, like one of my favorite dishes I like talking about here is the chilaquiles, which basically is like breakfast nachos. I mean, you're just taking the chips, stirring it in enchilada sauce, getting it warm, putting cheese on it. I put a fried egg on top, and sometimes I do it with shredded chicken too, and it's so good for breakfast. So good.
I gotta make that. You do talk about that a lot, and it always sounds awesome.
And it sounds like a complicated, like a exotic dish, but it's really not. I mean, it's just, dude, you put the chips in there, and throw some enchilada sauce, either red or green, and let that stir down. And it's better if you have like chips that are a little older, so like it just, I don't know. It's another way to kind of use your leftovers,
Yeah, and chips can be slightly stale and still just be perfectly fine in nachos because half of them are going to get soaked in the meat or the cheese anyway, and kind of a lot of times you're rebaking them, so let them be stale. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So Brian, what's your like go-to meat when you make nachos? What do you like to use?
Usually I will get some skirt steak and just kind of dice that up, or just like have some long thin strips and throw it on top of the cheese and like make the I mean, if it's a skirt steak, I'll cook it. I mean, so I'll try to do it a little bit rare. I know it's not easy with skirt steak. Just have it a little bit pink in the middle, and that goes great. Goes great on it. Just spice it up a little bit. Maybe put some sriracha on there.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Yeah. I'm a grilled chicken. I like grilled chicken on my nachos. Just, I don't know, maybe because I always have grilled chicken. It's like I grill a bunch at the beginning of the week, and then like come the end of the week, I've got this extra like boneless breasts or thighs. It's just, let's chop it up and throw it on some nachos.
You're like, I've had every kind of sandwich, every kind of salad. Yeah. what else can I do?
Exactly. But like, we talked about when I went to New York and I was at the Pork Slope, and it was New York Magazine's rated best nachos in the city of New York. And I said that they were the best ones I've ever had in the city of New York, because they're the only ones I've ever had in the city of New York.
So you wouldn't. It's not like you weren't lying. You were telling the truth.
But, they looked beautiful. There was beautiful coverage. Everything was great. My only complaint was the meat that they used was basically like, I mean, it was almost like taco meat, like ground beef, like with taco seasoning, but it was real runny, like almost like a canned chili.
Was it called picadillo? Like the meat?
No, I don't know what they called it. They didn't really say. It didn't say anything. It was just said,
beef.
They were just nachos.
Yeah.
Kind of like chili.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. That's not the way I do it. I do chicken or I'll do steak. And maybe if I have leftover taco meat, because, I thought the girls were all going to have 4 tacos, and so I did 2 pounds worth of ground meat. And, that's okay, because it's not... This was runny. The stuff at Pork Slope was runny. And I love Pork Slope. John Bush, owner, we love you here, but I don't think they're anything to write home about, those nachos. Sorry.
Sometimes
always mad at us.
Runny ground beef, sometimes it could be okay. I mean, if it's too runny, then yeah. But if it's kind of like stewed, a little bit, so it's got some juice, that's not bad. And I've had nachos like that, but with the ground beef called picadillo, which is kind of stewed ground beef, but it's also got little chunks of potato in there. That's pretty solid.
I have never had potato on nachos. I've never had that.
Well, and then there's the potato nachos, the Irish nachos.
Irish nachos, yeah.
Which was just potato skins that they use instead of the chips.
Somebody renamed potato skins, basically.
Yeah.
But it's valiant. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then I was even talking to Rachel about us talking about nachos, and she's a big cheese fry fan.
Who isn't?
Well, and she said that's not nachos. Don't give me this Irish nacho bullshit. I want French fries with cheese and maybe some bacon and some. That's it.
Yeah, it's like calling Putin French nachos.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, in a sense, I guess if the original nacho is a tortilla chip with cheese, with shredded cheddar cheese melted and a jalapeno, you deviate from that. You don't really. I mean, a potato is not a corn tortilla chip, And what are you going to put on there? Corned beef and shredded cabbage, and that'd be a real Irish nacho.
That actually doesn't sound too bad. I think we just invented something.
Well, it's like Steve said. He's just renaming potato skins.
Yeah, we're breaking new ground on Punk Rock Foodies Radio.
Yeah. Somewhere there's a chef listening to this, and he's going to change the world.
Or change the channel.
Yeah. probably the latter, yeah.
But it's funny, you mentioned the chilaquiles is kind of like a breakfast nachos. I was thinking about this. I can make breakfast nachos. Do some diced up bacon and some scrambled eggs and, some cheddar cheese. Throw it on some chips. Little, whatever hot sauce that you like. I mean, that's, what the hell? How's that any different than bacon, eggs, and cheese and, toast? Or on a tortilla. Hell.
Dude, do a little scrambled eggs and corned beef hash and put that over some chips with melted cheese. Oh, that might be pretty good.
There we go. See, the possibilities are endless.
I think I just figured out dinner.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Having some leftover, whatever kind of meat you have. You made ribs the night before, and there's a couple ribs left, and you just kind of shred that pork off there.
That's the best way. I always say keep tortilla chips. It doesn't matter what kind you get. keep tortilla chips in the house at all times. And sometimes we open up the fridge like, oh my god, I got half a pack of this, half a pack of that. The best way to clean it out is either you can wait for it to go bad, or you can just put down some chips, throw it all on there, because almost everything that you put on, I mean, I guess you could probably even put ice cream on chips and it would be fine. That's the best way to clean out your fridge. Put it to good use.
What?
Dude, that reminds me. Have you guys ever had a dish called buñuelos?
Nope.
They're tortilla chips, but they're sprinkled with like sugar and cinnamon and then they put ice cream on top of it. It's really good.
Oh.
Yeah, they serve it that way too, but they also serve it like in like a little, like they make a bowl out of the tortilla chip too, and they put the ice cream in there. It's like deep fried ice cream. But
I've had that. Yeah, I've had that. Yeah,
that sounds good. I've not had that. That sounds delicious.
I've had the same dish. I think it's been called buñuelos both times, but I've had it both like in nacho form and in like deep fried, like kind of bowl form. But both ways are really good. It's a sweet nacho. It's really good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Like with the nacho bowl with the sugar on it, and then with the ice cream, and then just put a churro in there.
Yeah,
that is a meal.
Try to get like a real airy chip, like when you fry it, so it's just not like that big thick corn taste. So it's just more like a just. Yeah, it takes that cinnamon and sugar really nice on top, and get some nice vanilla bean ice cream and some caramel sauce, and you're talking a good dessert there.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, and then you got not to get off the nachos, but the fried ice cream, which is a ball of vanilla ice cream, and then it's rolled in like what is it, like crushed up cornflakes or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I've had it, and mixed with cinnamon, and then you freeze it, and then you fry it. It's like hard frozen, deep fry it, and then fries it outside, and you get that cinnamon flavor.
Fry, my darling. Everything fried. It's fair season. My Facebook has been blowing up with like fried food from like the fairs, the OC Fair and stuff.
You ever watch that show Carnival Eats?
Yeah.
Yes.
That show, the guy on there is annoying. His arms are way too long, but there's some interesting stuff. Like whenever he's talking to he's about 7 feet tall and his arms are way too long. He's got like Patrick Ewing arms, but there's some interesting stuff that they do on there.
Yeah, there was one thing. It was like an apple crisp. Oh my god, it looked heavenly, dude. Oh.
The stuff is just so decadent. It'll be like, okay, here's a Snickers bar. We're gonna stuff it inside a turkey leg, wrap that in bacon, and we're gonna put it in a Jello mold, and then cover that in cocaine and deep fry it. It's just like you're like, okay, I guess that could work.
Well, there's one of the food paradises. I think it was like fried food paradise, and there's a place in New York City called the Chip Shop. There was a guy who moved from England and couldn't find good fish and chips, so he opened his own chip shop. But they fry everything. They have fried pizza. Everything gets deep fried, and they actually said they will. If you've got a request, they'll do it.
Like, is that the place that you could bring in stuff? Like, hey, can you fry this for me? That's awesome.
Yeah, he said that they've tried like so many things. Said like M&Ms don't work because they just like melt right into the fryer, and like it's just like that's fun. It's experimenting.
Hope they change that grease.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. How do you know until you try it?
So, all right, let's listen to some music. We'll come back. We'll talk about some of the nachos that we made for the Punk Rock Foodies Radio Nacho Challenge. That might or might not actually be something. So, Brian, would you like to play something? Or
we were talking the other day how like the most played band on this is No Effects, so let's just keep that up. Getting High on the Down Low, one of my favorite songs. It's like a minute and a half long. It has a great intro on Punk Rock Foodies Radio.
saw you yesterday. We had a message from the good old USA. You great IQ, you a terrific guy. We'll let you push the button while the other people die. No way, that's what I say. I don't wanna be a Marine today. Sergeant Smiles, no recruiter. Teacher to program computers. Teach you all the skills you need. You can be a fucking pig, and that's why Sergeant Smiles. That's why Sergeant Smiles. That's why Sergeant Smiles. That's why Sergeant Smiles. Every day in high school when I got home, Marine recruiter called me on the phone. Oh God, never thought it would come to this. I get calls, now I'm on the mailing list. Mom, I'm not home if they call me on the phone. Sergeant Smiles, Marine recruiter, teach you to program computers, teach you all the skills you need. You can die with dignity, and that's why Sergeant Smiles. That's why Sergeant Smiles. That's why Sergeant Smiles. That's why Sergeant Smiles.
And that was some old school Mr. T experience with Marine Recruiter. And you're listening to Punk Rock Foodies Radio. And we're talking nachos.
Yeah, nacho.
So recently, yeah, I'm just surprised that we still haven't had our Mexican moment talking nachos with you, Steve.
It's kind of like one
I'm sure
big
it'll
Mexican
come.
moment.
You know what? It's funny. I was thinking the girls picked out some Pringles to take to the pool, and there's a nacho cheese one. Have you ever eaten like a nacho Dorito or like a nachos Pringles and been like, oh yeah, that's exactly what nachos taste like?
No. They got a nachos combos. They have a nacho combos, and it tastes nothing like nachos.
I knew somebody growing up who used to make nachos using the nacho Doritos, which okay, might be okay, but like that's what they thought that you were supposed to do. Like, they didn't realize. It was like
you're supposed to actually put nachos on top of those, and then they taste like nachos.
But anyway,
it's like if I take my shoes and put nachos on top of that, my shoes will taste like nachos.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same idea.
I guess. So we all made. Well, Steve, did you? I don't know if you made nachos for this. Did you?
No, I never got a chance to, man. I've been
Okay.
running around.
That's
But
okay.
I've made plenty of nachos, and I made chilaquiles not that long ago, so I can keep talking about that.
There we go.
'Cause that's getting delicious.
So, Brian, I know you made them. I made them. Rachel made some, so I can
Yep.
talk about hers. But
Did
Brian,
Rachel post hers? I didn't see Rachel's.
Yeah,
Yes,
I saw,
she did.
She posted like right after you guys posted like 1-2 one night.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not see Rachel's.
And
Yes.
Eli posted too, right? Eli jumped in the game.
Eli did the hot dogs. Unless he did post nachos, I told him we were doing nachos. See if he could get them on tonight, but he's going to be heading out of town, so he's got some shit to take care of today, so he couldn't join us. Yeah, Rachel's nachos were just basic Tostitos with like the Mexican blend cheese, shredded cheese, green peppers. There was grilled chicken, some diced tomatoes, and then she had on some. It was the Safeway brand peach pineapple salsa. And I mean, it was. They were good, and then like some sour cream on top. But the salsa was like sweet, and it had a little spice to it. And then, yeah, I mean, it was a really good mix of flavors that she had on hers.
Did she put any beans on there? Or?
Oh yeah, and there were black beans and corn.
Yeah,
and some corn too. Yeah.
I was just gonna say because
Yeah.
I like refried beans more than every other bean, but black beans were the best on nachos. They just do.
I agree because it's almost I feel like you need to chop up like the vegetables like small so that you can get a little bit on each piece. It's like nothing worse than like when you like getting a slice of pepperoni pizza and there's like one piece of pepperoni on it. I mean, it's kind of the same.
Well, the beauty about nachos is what you're alluding to, Xander, is it's got the perfect bite in it. It's a food where you can have a perfect bite, and that's great because I mean, who doesn't love a flavorful bite of chips. I mean, God, that's great.
Yeah.
But foods that you could do that with are obviously you could do that with any meal, like, eat your beans, rice, and protein together. But a nacho is kind of just built for a perfect bite.
It's built that way, and it's finger food. You just pick it up and
it's fun. You share. Yeah, there's a lot. Food, when you get interactive with food, it takes it to a whole different level. Like that's why it's such a good Super Bowl party food. And it's something that you can kind of huddle around like the so to speak water cooler, but you huddle around the nacho bar.
You just you pile stuff on top of there, and then you scoop it out by yourself. That's the best part about it.
Yeah, but definitely when I do make nachos, it's got to have a beautiful green avocado, like guacamole on top of it. I mean, for me, it just has to. It's mostly to do with the color. It just adds that whole vibrancy.
I agree, and I think like fresh sliced jalapenos, that bright green of those, like that. I agree. It adds that extra touch. I mean, put some shredded lettuce on, put some green pepper, but something about those jalapeno rings that are just like so perfect, But,
what was all on yours that you made? I saw yours were on there, but when I saw it, I was drunk, so I didn't read all the details. I
did a buffalo chicken nachos.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
What I ended up doing was I took boneless chicken thighs and I grilled it, but I put some Tabasco sauce on the thighs while I was grilling it,
That's
to give it that extra flavor.
That Tabasco is so good.
It's really good. I actually used up the rest of my bottle. I got to make sure I put that on the grocery list. And then I diced it up and I tossed it in some Frank's Red Hot, because that's what I toss my wings in when I just make regular standard buffalo wings. I used the blue corn tortilla chips just for show. I guess there was nothing fancy about them other than they're blue. Monterey Jack cheese. I put the chicken on, some diced up celery, and some blue cheese crumbles, and I think that was it. Then I baked it for the cheese to melt, and then when it came out, I drizzled ranch dressing across it one way, and then sriracha across it the other way.
Oh,
and
it looks very nice,
dude.
I ended up putting some lettuce on it too after I took the picture, and it was so good.
I didn't see that you had diced celery on there. To me, that makes a huge difference. That means just little, I don't know, the celery flavor. Just, oh man, it's got to go with buffalo chicken. It's so
absolutely
so good together.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was really good, and it looks very. It looks very exotic and everything, but it was very simple. I mean, it's...
Well, I'm stoked that you went with the blue corn tortilla, because the blue corn tortilla definitely has a little bit more of an earthy taste. It's just a little... I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of a little sweet, but it's just... I don't know. It makes for a good nacho, basically. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does have a different flavor. I actually just kind of went with what was the best bargain, like the least expensive for the most ounces in the bag, but only because the one that I usually get in the store was out of. Because I think it was like a Sunday, and grocery stores run low on Sunday, so they were okay for what they were. But Brian, you added something. Awesome to your nachos.
I went crazy on mine, because what I did was, these nachos, I didn't put them all together and then bake them like I normally did. I just first of all, the grocery store by me makes their own tortillas every morning, so they deep fry their own tortillas. So when I got it, the bag was still hot when I brought it home. That's super fresh, it just had this awesome aroma. So threw down a bunch of that, and on top of it, I got some just basic Velveeta cheese, and I heated it up with a bunch of sriracha in it. So that alone gives a lot of flavor. So just Velveeta with sriracha. I got some chorizo that it was kind of like, I just kind of squoze it out in the pan and just kind of fried that up. Got the grease, popping. So I covered it in the Velveeta with sriracha, a bunch of spicy chorizo, and then what I did was I put a bunch of creamy mac and cheese on top of there.
That was it right there.
Creamy mac and cheese. Right. And then I just started piling stuff on there like a total lazy man. There was not a lot of preparation. Piled a bunch of creamy mac and cheese on there. Some ground beef that I cooked up with some spices. I don't remember what I put in there. I was drinking, so who knows. And then at the end, I put on another layer of sriracha. I put some sriracha on there and some spicy salsa, chopped up salsa, pre-made from the grocery store, whatever. Like I said, this is the lazy man. And then some chunky guacamole with black bean and corn on top. So it was just like this pile of like multicolored. Like, it was just multicolored, like, okay, this is probably going to come out looking the same way as it's going in. But
that sounds
like really...
I piled it nachos.
Up. Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, it was so good, but I had to get the chips that I got had to be extra strong because I piled it with like 10 pounds of stuff.
You had a lot of heavy ingredients on top of that.
Oh, my God. Like, and I had to add more chips. And once I put all that stuff on there, I had to add more chips around it and also in the sides just because, I mean... He ran out of chips after a while, and there's still shit on there. So
and your ingredients are very, I would say, like gooey. So it was you made like a dip, like a layered dip. And then
the mac and cheese went really well with the chorizo. It was the mac and cheese was that's what really gave me the idea. I'm like, I'm putting macaroni and cheese on some fucking nachos here, son.
Hell yeah! Especially you get it creamy. It's just more cheese, you know. It's great.
Yeah, I made them. I'm not a big fan of spicy. I know I've talked about before. I'm not a big spice guy, but everything I got was spicy. So it was for me. It's about as spicy as I get.
Yeah, I was gonna say you always. You know, you're not a big spice guy, but then you're putting the sriracha in with the Velveeta, using chorizo, you're adding spice salsa, you put some more sriracha on top. Like, that sounds like you're a spice guy to me.
I was that day, and it was I used the Ditka out here or in Chicago. Ditka has everything. Ditka has his own wine, his own tequila, his own steaks, his own everything, and I got the Ditka's sriracha. I'd never seen this before, and it was quite good. It's got his stupid little face on it. It was good to put it in with the, I mean, Velveeta. I mean, we know Velveeta is just like some low-grade cheese product, but man, with some sriracha in there, it really, like, that was, of all the stuff that I put on there, that was the best part, was the sriracha cheese.
That's how you elevate Velveeta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went from like an average kind of cheap thing to an average tasty cheap thing.
It's like you almost can't even spell elevate without Velveeta. Whoa, hey.
Whoa, man.
Wow. Did you just write a commercial?
I might have, dude.
He's still in creative mode.
Big Vicious, give me Velveeta on line 1.
Patent pending.
Yeah, I'm going to send shit.
No, but you know, Velveeta, you're right. Velveeta, I think, you know, I mean, I make my queso dip. It's Velveeta diced up with some a drain, like some can of diced tomatoes. I add a can of diced chopped green chilies and like a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and just put that in a little crock pot and let it all melt down, and that's my queso, you know. But I like to take leftover taco meat, mix the Velveeta with that and some jalapenos, and just like bake it in a little like ramekin or something. Yeah. And then just use like chips to dip that. That's good.
The chorizo that I got went really well with the Velveeta. I probably should have just mixed it all together. But when I got the tube of the chorizo and I just kind of squoze it out like toothpaste into the pan, and when I fried it up, the grease started popping, and that went really, really well with the sriracha and the cheese.
Yeah, if you get a good chorizo,
it was almost like chili. Yeah.
If you can get a good chorizo, I mean, I've had some chorizo which has just been like way too hot to use, you know, just to eat like by itself. And you definitely have to chop it up and mix it with some stuff. But
I feel like we're getting close to our Mexican moment. Steve, you want to talk about chorizo? You got a chorizo over there?
I got a chorizo right here, bro.
It's got a spicy chorizo.
Chorizo and beans.
A little sour cream on top.
Oh boy.
Wow, we went there. That's great. Oh, man.
This is glad we didn't bring up the guacamole on the beans.
Guacamole.
I need to go see a doctor.
I like putting serranos in my guacamole. You know, dicing them up real fine, because serranos is nice and spicy. And those got a good bright flavor too. Yeah, putting that on top of nachos, you get a nice little zing.
Yeah, sure. That's what Rachel had. Oh, just for the picture, I sliced the only pepper I had in my that was usable in my little pepper garden was a Serrano. So I sliced that up to put it on the on her nachos just for the picture. And so I took a bite of it, and it was like just the right amount of heat. Like it wasn't too hot, wasn't too dull. You know, it was like perfect. But I only had one Serrano, and they're small. They're not too fat. So.
No, Serranos. Yeah, it's crazy. Serranos, like the smaller they get, the spicier they get. They're
I got a couple that are getting ready to turn red that they're about an inch long. So I'm about to pop those off too. But
nice. I was gonna cut up some jalapenos and put it on mine, but that's just like I said. I don't like the spice. I don't really dig jalapenos, man. I knew that I was probably going to be the only one eating it in the house. I knew Sheena wasn't going to have any, so I figured I'd cater it to my needs. I figured I was spicy enough. I can't do sliced jalapenos. That's too hot for me.
Yeah,
way too hot.
I've had some. One time I think it was at Planet Hollywood in San Diego, and I ordered the nachos, and all it was grilled chicken, chips, cheese, and fresh jalapeno slices, and they were like neon green, like that relish the Chicago dogs have. They were like that green, and they were the freshest jalapenos I've ever seen, and they were spicy as fuck. A lot
of times the best recipes are the simple ones.
Yeah. Oh.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. Speaking of jalapenos, you guys ever had like a jalapeno pineapple margarita?
I have not.
Yes. Yeah. I had one last year.
Explain this to me.
Well, it's just, they throw a little bit of, sliced jalapenos in a pineapple margarita. It's fucking good, man. Because it's like sweet, but like your lips just tingle, and you're like, oh.
And then you go back for more. Because it's like,
and then you order nachos. See, that's what brings all full circle.
I remember I had a jalapeno beer once at my grandma's house, like years ago, and it wasn't like nowadays when they make like beer, they like steep it with like some habanero or something. No, this was literally a bottle of beer with a jalapeno pepper inside the bottle of beer. And I don't know how old it was, because this was my grandma who's got way too many refrigerators for one person. So it was old, but I drank it, and it tasted like beer that somebody had poured some pickled jalapeno juice into and threw a jalapeno pepper in. That was it. I was like, jalapeno beer. Sounds great. Tastes, yeah.
Did you breathe fire? Or?
What's that?
Were you breathing fire afterwards? Or
no, it wasn't. It was more like pickle juice beer. It wasn't. I didn't eat the jalapeno because, again, I don't know how old this beer was in that fridge. And then when all these beer companies started making these like hot pepper beers, I'm like, I've had jalapeno beer a long time ago, and nope, nothing like that. They actually make it right this time.
Yeah, there's some really hot ones that I've had. There's Hardywood has a chocolate, I think it's called Chocolate Heat stout, and it is heavy, man. Heavy.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah,
so there'd be like a little sweetness to balance it out.
Yes, it's a chocolate stout but super hot, almost to the point where it's hard to drink. And I made the mistake of about 3 years ago. Some friends of mine came from Virginia, and they brought it for me. And we went to Riot Fest, and we got sunburn all day. And then we came home with horrible sunburns and opened up the Chocolate Heat, and it was tasty. But all of us were just like, we can't do this. For some reason, the sunburn just made it extra. We're already trying to cool down.
That's like raw burgundy milk was a bad option.
It was, it was probably the bad time to drink it. It was still good, but we probably could have drank it at any other time, and it would have been better. But if you can find Chocolate Heat, go get it. It's not a porno; it's beer.
Who makes it?
I believe it's Hardywood. I got to double check. I'm pretty sure because they came from Richmond, and that's their brewery out there is mostly Hardywood. I think that's where it's from. So, but it was quite good. We just weren't prepared for it that day.
I'll look for it.
Well, I told you guys about that one beer I had earlier this summer, the Guapo with the lime, cucumber, habanero blonde ale.
Yeah.
That was good. I gotta get another one of those before summer's over.
I just had a cucumber beer. Where the fuck was I got this cucumber beer? It was nasty as shit. It was so. It was when I was in upstate New York.
You gotta tell us so that we can avoid it.
It was in upstate New York, and it was like local. I was like, I'll get this like out of Utica. I'm like, I'll try this. Oh my god, it was so fucking bad. It was just. I of course I drank it. I soldiered through, but it was not. I thought, this will be nice and refreshing. We're camping. It's hot. No. I would rather have had a hot cup of coffee than that shit. Ugh.
Dude, speaking of refreshing beers, one of the best beers I had a couple summers ago was a Cantaloupe Hefeweizen from this I&I Brewery out here in Chino. Oh, talk about it was a beer festival. It was like 90 degrees out, and that beer just was like, it was like right away. It's like, okay, this is best in show right here. This beer is just perfect right now.
Nice.
Cantaloupe Hef.
So see, as usual, when it's just the boys, we end up talking beers.
Yeah, and I believe Jen and Mike said they're sending some beers out to us.
We've got a beer episode coming.
Getting in a few days. Yeah, once we all get it, we got to do it pretty quick so that they don't sit in the fridge too long.
I might be the pain in the ass about the scheduling because I got a vacation coming up and I might not be around to do it on the day.
As long as we don't let it sit. As long as we don't sit it for like a month, because when you sent yours out to us, we had to sit on them for way too like 3-4 weeks.
I'd like to get it done before September, so that before school starts and I get nice and liquored.
We will. You know how we kind of do the King's Wine thing, like the roll started, wherever they started, and everybody else got them. We got to look out for Stone is up in their game. They have a little display booth where they have Dude, they got 7 or 8 different kinds of barbecue sauce, 3 or 4 different kinds of hot sauce now, 3 or 4 different kinds of mustards, and they all sound amazing. Like they've always had the smoked porter barbecue sauce, but now they have the smoked porter with smoked apples and chipotle barbecue sauce, which sounds fucking incredible. So we should do an episode where we cook with some of the Stone products and then see what we all come up with.
I like that idea. We got to do a whole barbecue sauce episode. I know Guar makes their own barbecue sauce. I've got some friends out in Richmond that might be able to get us a few bottles. I'll see if I can procure a few.
And I got to send you guys your damn King's Hawaiian barbecue sauces that they sent us.
That's right.
I sent those out.
I got a brand new grill that I put together yesterday, so I'm ready to throw down, man.
Yeah, and boys and girls out there listening, if you guys ever have a growler of IPA and the IPA you don't seal it right, which is what I did one time, so I had half a growler left over. It was flat IPA. I made a barbecue sauce with it, and it was amazing. It was so good.
Nice, but use it. Don't let it go to waste.
Yep.
There's still flavor in there.
There's always flat. You can always find something to do with flat beer. I've learned that, and so no beer should ever go to waste. Truly.
Absolutely. All right, well,
public service.
That's nachos and beer. That's pretty much what...
Every episode is something in beer.
Yeah, but no, keep serious, honest. Keep your ears peeled or eyes peeled on the Facebook for a possible nacho challenge throwdown here, like we did with the hot dog challenge, which went very well.
There were some good entries.
Yep, they're at work.
Yeah, there were some fun ones.
So we're gonna head off here. Some music. Steve's got an interview. Coming up with who is it?
With who knows? We'll find out.
Well, I'm playing a little Briggs here. So my buddy Chris, who used to be the drummer for the Briggs when this was recorded, we're gonna try to get him on the show. And how about a little Briggs right now with What Was I Thinking off the album Come All You Madmen. This is Punk Rock Foodies Radio. Let's go.
Great song. Great song.
Why don't we talk to ourselves? This will never work, I can already tell. We're not the same. It's over. What exactly would you like me to do? Why wash my words to hide the truth? Make them easier to swallow. It's not gonna happen. As entertaining as this has been, stuck in romantic destruction. It's all a mistake, and it's all I can take. Wow, what was I thinking? Maybe I wasn't at all. Where were we headed before we dropped the ball? You're at the bar having a ball. I'm staring at my fucking hotel walls, and I'm not insane with no diversions. How much will I take before I break? Taking the liberty in deciding your fate, and the damage is done in a time of great simulation. I forgot my shovel at your grave. I'll need it back in case anyone else misbehaves. A higher power told me we can't be saved. What was I thinking? Maybe I wasn't at all. Where were we say, didn't I say, didn't I say I call? Didn't I say, didn't I say, didn't I say I call? I've been climbing up, I've been climbing up, I've been climbing the walls. I've been climbing up, I've been climbing up, I've been climbing the walls. What was I thinking? Maybe I wasn't at all. Where were we headed before we dropped the ball? What were you doing inside the bathroom stall? What was I thinking? Maybe I wasn't at all. Maybe I wasn't at all. Maybe I wasn't at all. Maybe I wasn't at all.
All right, so welcome back to Punk Rock Foodies Radio. Today we have a very special guest. He is a friend of mine. He was a drummer in one of my favorite bands, the Briggs, and now he's a stage manager for a few punk rock bands and a few iconic musical artists. So let's welcome Chris Arredondo to the show today. What's up, buddy?
Hey buddy, how are you?
Good, man, good. How's it going, dude?
It's good, man. I'm just in my car right now on my way to rehearsal with the Go-Go's. We start tour on Monday.
Nice, man.
So, learning these songs over again.
Yeah. So when you go on tour with the Go-Go's, you do stage managing and drum tech, or what do you got to do during show day?
Yeah. My official title is stage manager / drum tech. So I take care of Gina. Take care of her drums, get her set up and all that. And then the stage is mine. I got to make sure that the opening bands are ready when they need to be ready, and make sure that the show runs on schedule.
Yeah.
And get the girls up there to kill it every night.
Nice, man. Nice. How long is this tour?
This one is almost exactly a month. It's like 30 days. This is the Go-Go's farewell tour. I've been with them for 6 years now, and they decided that this is going to be the last tour.
Ever?
So,
the last tour till we decide to have the next farewell tour.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the farewell tour until the reunion tour, whenever that's going to be.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, you've been a busy guy, dude. You've been on tour a lot this summer with different bands. I saw you were all over Europe earlier this summer.
Yeah, earlier this summer I was out with Pennywise, doing the same thing, stage manager and drum tech. I was in Europe with them for, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks. And then right before that, I was all over the world with Adam Lambert, the guy from American Idol. He's also the singer he's a singer for Queen now also.
Yeah.
But I was with him for like 3.5 months earlier this year. So.
Oh wow, that's cool, man. What were some of your favorite places that you visited while you were on tour?
This was it was cool to go to Moscow. I was in Russia earlier this year, and it's a pain in the ass to get there. It's a pain in the ass to get all your gear there and to make sure that your show is going to go great. But it's fucking Russia, dude. It's pretty kind of cool to say that I've been to Moscow.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's a long way from Pasadena, huh?
Yeah, dude. a little bit of a hike from Pasadena, man.
So, since this is Punk Rock Foodies, were there any memorable dishes that you had while traveling?
Oh man, I kind of stick to to the places that I know. Like, I've been doing this for fucking too long, and so like I got my go-to spots, So one of my favorites is in Chicago. There's a joint called the Chicago Oven Grinder and Pizza Company or something like that. Oven Pizza Grinders, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But they make this. It's literally a pizza bowl, right? So it's like a bread bowl with sauce and mushrooms and meat and cheese and all this that you can throw into this bowl. They throw it into an oven, they bake it upside down, then they bring it to you, and they scoop it out, and there you have, like, it's literally a pizza bowl. There's no other way to describe it.
That sounds so epic.
It's one of my favorite things ever, you know, and I really, every time I look at my my schedules, I make sure that I'm in Chicago, and then I see if I have a day off or not, and if I do, I know I'm going there. It's so epic, in fact, dude, that there's only 2 sizes that you can order. You can't order a small or a medium or a large. You order either a half pound or a pound. Like, those are the only options you have. You can either have fat or fatter. You know, so just
Oh, man. That's cool, man. That's cool. And so when you were with the Briggs, you did a little bit of traveling and touring with them as well, right?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, 12 years in the Briggs. You know, just it's definitely a different style of touring that I'm doing nowadays. You know, back then we were in a van at first, and then we graduated to a van and a trailer. You know, it's like so. Like I'm glad that. Obviously, that was a great part of my life. I loved being in the Brig. You know, 12 years of my life.
Yeah.
Got to travel the world with my buddies, my friends, and what was cool about that was that I got to do the van tour, which is completely different than a bus tour. You know, you're in a bus tour, and you don't really have any means of getting yourself around town. Once you're at the venue or once you're at the hotel, you just gotta hop in an Uber now, you know, or cab it around town. Whereas when you're in a van, you have like the freedom to go wherever the hell you want. You know, you drive wherever, you park wherever, you go to different museums or movie theaters or restaurants or malls. You know, you need to go buy some fucking shoes because you can busted through them.
Yeah.
You know, you can go to a mall or you have the freedom to travel within the city that you're at. So getting that for 12 years, man, like I got to see, you know, all different sides of different cities that I was in. And when I go there on these bigger tours, I know exactly where I want to go.
Yeah.
If I'm in Chicago, I want to go to this place. If I'm in Seattle, I know I want to go to Pasta Fresca.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's like, I know the places that I want to go to. Rather than I just sit there at the menu and I ask the dude, hey, where's a good place to eat? You know, like within walking
distance, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, this next thing I'm going to say is might be a little self-serving, but one of the coolest things I've seen ever in punk rock was when you guys opened up for the LA Kings during a playoff game at the Staples Center, which was fucking radical, dude. That was cool.
I mean, dude, you know, like there's really only fucking one dude I can thank for that. You know who that is. So, yeah, that was epic, dude. You know, like I'm a fucking Mexican kid that grew up in Pasadena, and who fucking knew that like when I was a kid, I played hockey. You know, like I played ice hockey for the Pasadena Maple Leafs when I was a kid, and I was a huge Kings fan my whole fucking life. And then all of a sudden, like they like our song,
yeah,
and they want to play our song. Oh no, they want us to play our song at the fucking arena
during Stanley Cup playoffs, dude, no less.
Yeah, for a playoff game, you know, like that was one of the highlights of my life getting to do that, man.
Yeah, well, just to give everybody the backstory, I worked at Fox Sports at the time, and I got the bosses and the powers to be to agree to let me use "This Is LA" by the Briggs for the Kings promotional campaign for 1 year, and the Kings ate it up, and everybody loved it, and it just made sense. And Dude, the Briggs got to be, dude, they were selling your CD inside Staples Center at one point, dude.
Dude, that whole thing just snowballed like crazy, you know. And I remember this like it was yesterday. I was at Jiffy Lube getting the oil changed in my car with my buddy, who was also friends with Ryan, our old bass player. And he's all, hey dude, did you hear about the Kings thing? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like no one had even told me anything yet. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's all, oh yeah, the Fox Sports wants to use your song. And I was like, what? All right, like that's cool. Like within like the fucking working day, dude, within like 8 hours, it went from they want to use your song for one commercial, they want to use your song for every commercial, they want to use your song as the official team song. They want I was like, what the fuck is going on right now, dude? This is insanity. Like for a fucking punk rock band to have a song for a sports team, you know, it's kind of weird. I mean, you know, granted, there's other they use punk songs for a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dropkick Murphys, you know, they're huge in Boston. They got every Boston sports team uses their song.
Yeah.
But when we wrote the song, that was the last thing in our mind. It was like, yeah, we'll get the Kings to use it, the Dodgers will use it, the Galaxy will use it. That was the last thing on our mind, dude. And then it just kind of happened, and it snowballed so fast. It was cool. It was cool. And you know what's up, dude. You know I love you for that.
Dude, that was I was in a good position to kind of make some stuff happen with our promos at the time, and I tried to use punk rock music whenever I could, and that there was no other song that made more sense for a team to use than This Is LA, and it being the Kings. That's a match made in heaven. So,
yeah, thank you,
dude. I just introduced you guys, but yeah, you guys did all the hard work. But yeah, let's talk about the future. I know you got some stuff in the works. Can we talk about what you got going and maybe debut that your new track?
Yeah, dude. So last year I was out on tour with Rise Against. That's another band that I work for. And my buddy here at home, Kyle, he called me up one day, and he's like, hey, I want to start a band. And I'm like, okay, what kind of band? He's like, I want to start a fucking 80s hardcore band. He's like, Black Flag, Circle Church, like LA hardcore. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking want to do that too. Like, that sounds like a great idea. And he knows my schedule, you know, like I'm very rarely home, but he's like, yeah, I just want to do it for fun, like just kind of like a side project thing, and he's all, but I want you to play in it, and I know that you know other dudes, so would you be able to put the band together? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So, you know, now we're at about, I don't know, this happened in like November, right? So 8 months later, here we are, and I got a band together, wrote some songs. Like right now we've got an EP worth of songs, like a pretty long EP actually. And we're gonna be putting it out hopefully next year. But the band consists of members of myself from the Briggs. We got guitar player Adam, who's from Far From Finished, Boston band, lives in LA now. We got Gavin Caswell, who he's kind of floated around a lot, but he used to be in Black Pacific with Jim from Pennywise. Yep,
I did their video when he was in the band. Yeah, Gavin's good.
Yeah, so you know Gavin. He's currently in Census Fail. And then we got my buddy Matt, who is in fucking Battalion of Saints. Fucking talk about old school fucking LA hardcore. And then my buddy Kyle, who he's been in some like local LA bands called like Hands Like Bricks, and so he's singing. I'm writing all the fucking tunes, and now we got like the first single that's ready to get dropped, and that's when I hit you up, dude. I was like, dude, I want to do a video for this song, and you jumped on it like no fucking questions asked. So yeah, I mean, like we're gonna debut the song here on Punk Rock Foodies, man. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the name of the band is GFY. Fucking hardcore, dude. Let's,
yeah.
I'm gonna let you try to figure out what GFY stands for.
Oh, I know well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Driving in LA,
yeah.
You kind of say that a lot to the fellow commuters.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
And that's I'm kind of no one's really doing like that 80s hardcore like just when punk rock was dangerous, fucking just in your face, just don't give a shit kind of style anymore. Like the only bands that are doing that are the bands that were fucking around back then,
Yeah, no, dude. It's a great track. It's fucking, yeah, dude. It reminds you of 80s hardcore. It's fucking got a fucking really staunch message, to come across, and I love it. I fucking, from the first time I heard it, I was like, oh fuck, dude, this song is tough as fucking nails, man. Oh man.
Well, thank you, man. Yeah, and this song, it's kind of, I hate to say it, but it's fucking right place, right time. This is the shit that this song is that we're singing about is kind of mind-numbing. Especially with the video, which I hope people will watch once that gets released. You and I were talking about this the other night. Like it's hard, it's difficult to watch the video because it your emotions just go. It's like I don't want to give too much away right now, but it's just kind of this is the kind of shit that's going on in our world right now, and it needs to fucking stop.
Dude.
It needs to stop.
Yeah, no, we went pretty graphic on it, no doubt, but it's the fucking reality of what's out there, and 2016 is. There's some scary shit going on, and it's scary to live in it, but it's probably great for punk rock musicians because now there's a lot of fodder for you to write music.
Dude, like if Donald Trump gets elected president, it'll be the best thing to happen to punk rock since Reagan. Like it's fucking sad to say, but we're gonna have some good fucking punk rock music coming out if that happens.
Oh man, well, dude, Chris, thank you so much for taking a little time out of your schedule to talk to us, man. We know you're a busy guy, and we really appreciate you making the time, dude.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you very much for everything that you've done for me, and for the Briggs, and for GFY, and for fucking Punk Rock Mood. Thank you very much for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, dude, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure. You guys are all listening to Punk Rock Foodies Radio, and here we are with our very first fucking premiere. This is GFY with a song called Scare and Terror.
They treat you fake This is the police state.
You have no rights and will remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of unlaw. You have no right to an attorney. Since you can't afford an attorney, a shitty one will be provided for you that will fuck up your life. Do you understand that you have no rights? And every year or so, some cop gets busted. We all think to ourselves, finally we'll see some fucking justice. But do you really think that there's any justice in the end? It's just a slap on the wrist and some bullshit suspension. Yeah, more like a 3-week paid vacation.
They'll beat you down just for looking at the wrong. Shoot first and ask questions later. Corrupt the evidence to look like self-defense. These thugs, they get away with murder. They do the crime, won't do no time. It's now too late. They chose your fate. When you see those flashing lights, you have no rights. There's no escape. Stuck in a fucking police state. This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles. We never walk alone, forever true. We'll stay in tribute to our city, no matter where we go. This is our home. On the Sunset Strip, the devil's hard at work. If you wanna play, you gotta pay, you know, to keep the cops from going under. That's the price that breaks the floors every fool before. Underneath the haze, the streets of this phase, all the way from the 10 to the 5 to the 134. These streets are nothing but a parking lot, but I don't care, cause I'm not going anywhere. This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles. We never walk alone, forever true. We'll stay in tribute to our city, no matter where we go. This is our home. It's 2 a.m. again. When will I ever learn? If those warm winds blow me home tonight, I'll have a place to lay my head. I'll leave my troubles at the foot of my bed. On the West Coast shore, it's been far too long. So what if I got no money in my pockets? I'll always stand up strong, cause I'm in the city where I belong. This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles. We never walk alone, forever true. We'll stay in tribute to our city, no matter where we go. This is our home. Alright. This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles. We never walk alone. This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles. We never walk alone, forever true. We'll stay in tribute to our city, no matter where we go. This is our home. This is LA.
All right, I'd like to thank Steve, Ryan, Skate Rat. I'd like to thank Chris Arredondo. Check out that video whenever it comes out. So glad we were able to premiere that song here at Punk Rock Foodies Radio. Also like to thank the people at the Vicious Pig Saloon in downtown Mattersville. For all of your video and graphic needs, check out Burning Rose Studios. Check out Betty Gear on Facebook. And when you're on Facebook, come on over to Punk Rock Foodies. Real simple, make food, post a pic. And also keep your eyes peeled for our Nacho Challenge. Bonate to everyone.
I don't need a life coach. I need punk rock music.